So Gaffer, it's the end of your first campaign here at Accies. How do you assess the campaign, given the fact you came in when the season was already underway?
Yeah, I think I've spoken about it before, ups and downs, which I knew was always going to be the case. You know, when you go into a football club, it's making sure that you're assessing everything at the football club, and coming in here, that was definitely the case. You know, assessing from players to staff to how the football club runs, and a sense of downstairs in the football department. You know, across the different departments, you know, physio, sports science, and the football department itself. So I think that, you know, we've put a lot of good foundations in place, and I think as the seasons went on, there's definitely been improvements. You know, and along the way we've had a couple of bumps that we've taken on the chin, and we've learned from it and moved on. And I think the biggest, or one of the biggest bumps in the road, and horrible one, was the Auchinleck game. I think I know from the Auchinleck game, you know, we look at the league table, and we've been in a good place in terms of from that game. And you know, it's just about making sure that we continue to do that and keep making improvements every single day and every single game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind because there was a week or so left the transfer window. Luke Matheson, you had Prescott join, Scott McMahon left, but from there you also brought in Arna Analysis. It was quite a big turnaround, because especially given the fact that the impact Prescott has had on the fans as well as the dressing room as well. Can you give us a bit of insight into the thought process in bringing him in? Has he been as successful as you could have hoped, or is this more than you'd hoped?
Are you talking about Aaron or Pops?
Pops.
Oh, Pops. Pops has been massive. You know, when I came in at first, it was about trying to get more leaders on the pitch, getting someone that's going to be able to be comfortable in how we want to go and playing out from the back, but also have that presence in there in the box, and the experience, and that talking, organising, being a leader on the pitch and off the pitch, having someone that's a leader and leads by example. You know, and Pops is a top pro, goes about his work really, really well, and the lads have bought into him straight away, as have the supporters have as well. And he was huge in terms of how he went about his work every single day, and the benefits, you know, from that is other players learn from him, and in fairness, it's a good dressing room to bring new players into.
And as well, RANKIN as well, he's a big part of your work behind the scenes. Perhaps fans don't see that. Can you give a little bit more information on the role he plays in you're running for a match day and the reaction to a match day?
Aaron's probably the one that works endlessly at the club, and you know, we do a lot of pre-match stuff, we do a lot of post-match stuff, we do a lot of individual clips on players. So he's constantly churning out video work. He also does the set pieces that we scrutinise and we look into very intensely. So we've managed to went to the club and asked for a certain type of software program that would help him do that, and it would make the video clips more clearer for the players to understand, so that when we did go and play against teams, we knew exactly what the jobs were going to be and how we were going to go about it. And then obviously the post-match, it would be clear for us to see what we needed to improve on and what we needed to get better at. And Aaron's been very, very good at that. He's picked up a lot of the work really, really quickly, and that's, for me, is a really important job in the modern game in football, that if you can do your analysis work and it can be done efficiently and successfully, then it'll stand you in good stead. And he's a massive part of the progression throughout the season, and how the players have got better individually and also collectively. He'd be seen as your unsung hero because nobody sees him, apart from running across the pitch at half time and after the game. But it's vital information, and it's really, really important for the players, and he's been huge and a huge part of the success.
See, with analysis, the main thing, I suppose, is getting your message off as clear as possible. And the coach meant is, if you ever watch Monday Night Football, so do you ever see it when they're circling players as he's running, things like that. Things like because you only have 6 to 8 minutes in a video to capture the players' minds. It's important that you make the messages as clear as possible so they know exactly what they're doing going into a game. Also Sports Code, they paid for us, which is also it's the top software in the field in terms of tagging. So I use that during the week for watching opposition. For example, Inverness were playing this weekend. I would have watched one or two of their games during the week, so we can go through the manager and discuss how we're going to play against them. But in terms of what I brought, I thought I brought a hunger and desire myself. I believe I'm in a very lucky role. I mean, I've family members at home that are going through like labouring jobs. Like I've my father, for example, he's working for years needing a hip replacement, so I actually consider that working hard here is quite easy because you're lucky, you're working in football. So I thought I brought a real hunger and desire and hard work, and I like an environment for the players. I think enjoying your football, enjoying your time here is quite important. So having that banter with the lads, the crack, that makes them buy into your field. I think I brought that as well.
The gaffer calls you an unsung hero of the coach.
I don't know about that.
What would you say your role would be within the coaching staff? Because the fans don't really see you very much apart from running on the pitch, running off the pitch at half time and full time. So you give us a bit more detail in your role.
The hours are heavy, but as I said, I'm very lucky to be in my job working in football. But my role during the week, I suppose, is constantly watching games, watching how teams play, how they set up, what certain individuals do, patterns of play, who goes where, so that eventually when we get to the pre-match and our set piece meeting, players know exactly what they're going up against. I guess that's my job. You have a lot of players coming to ask me for extra stuff that they don't even need. I guess we do all the stuff we can and what we do, but you have a lot of players that come for extra stuff. But in terms of even buying into the stuff we do, you do these little things like during a pre-match to watch people's faces to see who's watching, who's buying into it. But it's very rarely you see people's eyes swing, and everyone seems to have bought into it, and that's what the manager brought to the football club. It's a drive, it's everyone wants to make everyone better, and I guess when everyone buys into that, that's where you take the club forward.
Yeah, of course now we're at the end of the season, but between now and pre-season, what's your sort of priorities in terms of working and making sure everything's ready to start fresh in the pre-season?
Yeah, so me, the gaffer and ranks take a lot into the recruitment side of things. So in terms of going forward, right over the past 2 weeks, I've had an intern, Lewis, who came in and been a big help. We built a database basically on all the players in our league, so we could do a comparison to where we're at in each position to see who's doing well, who's not doing so well, and who we might need to come in to replace them. But recruitment's going to be massive. Watching players, making videos of players we want to sign, and discussing, I suppose, who will fit our style of play. The manager's already touched a lot on having a long-term plan, getting players that fit into your system, and evaluating them over a long time. So I guess over the summer it'll be a lot of recruitment stuff, and then planning how my department is going to work next season, making it more efficient.
Shortly after he came in, there was the 2-1 victory here against Inverness, where with 10 men we managed to get all 3 points. That was a big match this season. A lot of players have picked that out as a standout moment. Where does that rank for you, that victory?
I think it was huge. I really do think it was really important. In the build-up to that game, we worked a lot on playing out from the back, but also defensively as well, and overloads in numbers. So with the defending against situations where we were overloaded and outnumbered, which worked in perfectly well to that game, where we obviously get Regan sent off early doors. But I thought our start was incredible, which is something that we always try and make sure that we have as a fast start. You know, we got 2 goals early on in the game, and then Regan gets sent off, and we defended and we worked hard really well, but we still broke away and created some chances as well. I thought that game was great, and it was satisfying in so many ways because the amount of hours it was put on a football pitch, and it just seemed to happen and click on that game. But it's moving forward, and can we have more occasions like that, but can we do it with 11 men? And can we have that hunger and desire and passion and the non-negotiables that we speak about all the time that we did in that day, but also the way we went and played as well in possession. I thought the lads were fantastic, not just in that game, but I think they've pushed themselves and probably maximised, you know, everything that they possibly could have in every game.
It's not a case of the fact that there was an injury hit squad as such. There was a lot of injuries in the squad for the first half of the season, but how was that coming into? Because obviously you were trying to assess your squad, but you had a lot of players out in the injury bed where someone like Andy Winter came in, had a great impact when he came into the team. Scotty Martin offered another option in there. How was that challenge for you when you've got players out there that you know could make a difference, where you just need to see them in training, but you have to wait for that chance?
Yeah, and that's where it goes back to the medical department and how well, you know, they've done with ESTEBAN came in fresh to the club and not knowing any of the players and only having a handover from Callum, the previous physio, and we're grateful for Callum for what he did, just handing all the information over and help ESTEBAN settle into the club. Since then, ESTEBAN's eaten away at that injury list and he's got everybody back fit. There's been a couple that were recurring, but with different injuries. You know, he's got a different way of working and you know, he's really on the lads. He's got a great relationship with the lads and really, I don't want to say aggressive in the wrong way, but really demands a lot without demanding too much and gets players back fit very quickly and in the right way and that's important as well, because we speak about it all the time. You know, the club's got a new gym in, and you know, that's the strength conditioning side which RUARIDH deals with alongside ESTEBAN and Elliot, which I'm sure you'll speak about later on. But big importance for me is that maximising every player at the football club's potential, making sure that they're available for as many games as possible, and making sure that we can get as much out of those lads as we possibly can, not just for every game but for every training session as well.
I mean, I need to know, like, the league or the culture was completely different. Being honest, like they've helped a lot. They have trust me, not since the first minute, but you know, it took a few weeks just to get into it. I've tried like to push them as hard as possible. As well, like doctors has helped us with medication when was required, and the sport therapist has done like a very good job as well. So it's just about communication, seeing how is the player feeling every day, how does the staff is going to manage his load, and the rest of factors that comes like are committed on a decision, for example nutrition or psychological factors. And I think like being holistic is the key for recovering, and players have seen, I think they have seen that work. There's always a good laugh, but we have tried like to be quite serious and help them in every single factor that can help them to be on the best way of their recovery.
Yeah, when you spoke about the gym, that was another change that happened shortly after your arrival when the new gym came in. But having that gym is a fantastic asset to have, but having that gym, but also the importance of having a sports science team that understand how to work and make sure that players get what they need from it in terms of strength, conditioning, recurring injuries, or stemmed and stuff like that. Is that a big thing in terms of having someone like Rudy there that you can rely on to get the best out of players in the gym, and you can get the best out of them on the pitch?
That's it. As I said before, it's about maximising the players, not just their potential, but you know, their availability. You know, they're all good players. We want them all playing. I get they all can't play, but I would rather that scenario of them all being available and me having a couple of tough conversations rather than them all sitting in the stand and not being available. So the gym's been fantastic, and we're grateful to the football club for getting the gym and the analysis equipment, and I think everybody recognises, you know, the effect, the positive effect that it's having and that it's had, and what it will continue to have on the development and the progression of the players. So yeah, we'll continue to do that, and can we make players fitter, stronger and quicker, and every scenario is totally different from every individual.
Obviously it came in around about January, we were much more consistent in our physical training after January to make sure we were robust in the demands of the sport. Obviously strength training is only one part of that, there's multiple factors that go into it. In terms of other areas of rehabilitation, it then becomes a window of opportunity instead of just focusing solely on the rehab of that injury. So they can go, well, you can identify younger players, for example, who might need to put on more physical size to be able to have a bigger presence on the pitch when they return back from that injury, and then they've got a suitable facility to go and do that in all in one. They don't have to worry about, well, if I wanted to do an upper body session, I'm going to interfere with someone else's rehab. There's plenty of space for them to do that, which is brilliant. We've seen changes in the boys' body shape over the course of the season from that, especially within the younger players within the squad.
And looking ahead to pre-season, how big a role will equipment like the gym have in make players ready for that first game of the season?
Yeah, pre-season is a massive opportunity to maximise the gym for everyone involved. It'll be in regular use to provide strength training and also accessory power and speed work to supplement what we're doing on the pitch. It's all part of a bigger picture, but having that foundation in there of strength to be able to withstand the forces applied on the pitch of change of direction and sprinting really helps us. Obviously it's only one part of the picture, having good mechanics and being an efficient and effective mover on the pitch is the other part, so it helps bring you both of them together for us.
Do you feel the benefits of that are shown in the second half of the season in terms of a lot of good performances in there? The results have been the times, but over the course of the performances have been really strong, really a lot of positives to take, but is that a sign of the work that these guys do behind the scenes, a sign of the analysis, the physios getting players back, the gym making players stronger and lasting longer and fitter almost? Is that, do you think that's
Absolutely.
a benefit, or do you think it's, like you said, you can not see the full benefits, you maybe see it after a pre-season?
Absolutely, but what the improvements you see now is not going to be the same as the improvements you'll see next season, because continuing to do that, they're only going to get fitter, they're only going to get stronger. You know, just because you buy a gym, it doesn't mean you say the next day everybody's as fit as what they should be and everybody's as strong as what they should be. It takes time for that process to kick in. It takes time for those effects and influences to actually be produced on a football pitch or on a training pitch. So it wasn't, I said before, it's never going to be overnight. It's never going to be a quick fix. It's going to take time. I'd probably say since the gym's been in, it probably took a couple of months before it started then, you know, come to fruition. Like the work we're doing in the training pitch. You know, you see bits and pieces, but you're never going to see it coming to fruition. And you know, for quite some time, because there was a lot of information put towards players. They were great and really receptive, but again, it takes time for it to all gel together. You know, has there been improvements? Yes, there has. And as the seasons went on, we've got better. And when you look back at from now to where we were, there's been, you know, big improvements inside the club in terms of the, you know, what we've been doing, what we are doing, that's shown the effects on the football pitch as well, with, you know, chances we're creating, lads looking fitter, lads being fitter and stronger, and you know, results as well, which is at the end of the day, it's a results-based business, and you know, our results have got better, but it's not just results of the game in terms of win, lose or draw. It's results in players and individuals. Our players and individuals getting better, which, you know, they have been, which is great.
It doesn't matter what age you are. Like, obviously I do a lot of work with the academy, for the junior into intermediate, into the senior sort of academy, feeding into 18s, into the first team. So it doesn't matter, you're always developing, always trying to learn, I think the biggest key is getting to know the person, in my opinion. Obviously it's the same for players as well, but because the goalkeepers tend to work in small groups, you've got to know the person first, or try to know the person, that they can trust you, and then I think you'll get a little bit more out of them. But the group is good. The group is good and they support each other. As I said, whether it be different aspects or on the pitch, or somebody's not done so well or has done well, we're always the first to congratulate as well. But it does prepare you, it doesn't matter what age you are.
I'll ask you about Rangers. Spoke about him several times over the course of the season, but his influence as well coming in December. It was a busy schedule for him because he's coming in where you're already prepared for a transfer window, but how did he settle in and how did he adapt to the transfer plans that you already had in place with Aaron as well?
Yeah, settled in really, really well. As I said, you know, the staff that we've got here are, You know, the hard workers and they welcome people, as do the players. It's a great dressing room. You know, they welcome the new people coming in, and they appreciate that they're coming here to make the place better. Ranks has been fantastic since he came in. You know, I spoke about it before. I've worked with him when he was a young kid. We've always kept in touch, and I like the way he thinks about the game. I like his enthusiasm and his passion for the game, and the two is like to talk football and challenge each other, and he's been excellent since he came in, and he's fitted in really, really well, which is great, and it's not a surprise to me. So I'm delighted with it.
I've enjoyed it. The challenge to obviously with the players is getting relationships, because I didn't know any before I came here. Apart from Pops, obviously I had worked with it at Hearts when he was just before he'd left. So the dynamic's been good. Getting to know people, I enjoy that challenge. Getting to know what makes them tick on the pitch and off the pitch is completely different, because some actually change from the personality they are in the dressing room to the guy that they are out in the field. And it's been good. I've really enjoyed it. Training on a daily basis has been good. It's been vibrant, and it's a challenge that we enjoy. But the major challenge is picking up more points on a Saturday, and one that we need to address and hopefully put right next season.